Hello and welcome. My name is Stephanie Dawn. I'm the chair of the Million Mom Movement Council, and welcome to Fierce Fridays. We come together every Friday to educate, to inspire, to support you in creating economic empowerment, and to enroll you in the activism surrounding glyphosate use in the United States and many other topics and issues that we are very, very passionate about. I'm going to share a lot more about how Fierce Fridays got its start about 6 months ago, but we only have Amy for a very short time. So I really want to take the time that we have with her to really share her amazingness with you in this gorgeous context of Fierce Friday. It's the first time Amy's been with us. And welcome, Amy. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me on today.
Yay, excellent, beautiful. And I love your tan. You're looking gorgeous. Wow.
Thank you.
Terrific. Well, so Amy, my goodness, so much is happening with Purium right now. You have been there through this incredible expansion, growth with Purium. You've been holding down the fort for all of us, those of us who are brand partners. And I just, first of all, really want to acknowledge you and share some love with you. And if you're feeling what I'm feeling in the chat box, can we just go ahead and love up Amy? She has really shown us what a leader is. She's a friend of mine. She's a mentor of mine. She's a mother of two. She's the founder of the Million Mom Movement, and she's Purium's president. So Amy, I'm curious, I'm curious just to hear from you a little bit surrounding the growth of Purium during these past months. I'm really wanting to know, like, how are you? How are you doing? Let's just check in a little bit.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm doing incredible, and I feel incredibly blessed to be leading this incredible movement, this incredible mission that we're on. And, it's interesting because we had some corporate, not Dave and I, ownership has obviously stayed the same for 25 years, but we had some change in corporate direction and corporate leadership at the end of 2019. And so I took on many additional roles, starting in December. Dave took on some additional roles, and then COVID happens, so we're cruising along, getting traction, feeling great about, some of the changes we've made at Purium, focusing on the ULT, focusing on Daily Core 4. Then COVID hits, and it's just been an incredible blessing. Not COVID is not a blessing, but the blessing is that people are becoming more open-minded to hear what we have to say, and to actually open their mind to the possibility that what food does to the body. It affects not just how we look, act, feel, perform, children focus, and behave. It really affects how our body responds, how our immune system responds. And so there's a whole nother group of people that I believe that we have access to, that there's become like an access point, or a portal has opened to a whole other group of people that were previously kind of closed or maybe resistant, not believing in the power of what foods and what you put into your body can do. So for that, it's been a huge blessing for us, at Purium, collectively as a Purium family. And we have seen such a strong surge in demand. It's been quite interesting to lead this mission when we were sending half of our workforce to work from home when they've never worked from home before. And we were asking the production and quality workforce to come in and work overtime and double time to meet the surge in demand. So it's been it's been a real interesting time, and I will have to say that I've probably grown more in my leadership on the corporate level, or just my leadership in the last 3 months, than I may have grown in the last 10 years. So
Right.
it's been
Yeah.
quite awesome.
Wow, serious kudos to you for all that you have done and are continuing to do as the president of Purium. Just mad respect for you. So, um, it wasn't maybe just like a year and a couple months ago, Amy, that we really pivoted with the Million Mom movement. And I wondered if you would speak to that a little bit, because that was a hard turn that we made. And will you speak to that?
Sure. No, absolutely. And it's really interesting because the pivot in the Million Mom movement actually is paralleling the pivot in Purium as a whole. And that is that we started out as product centric. I think almost everyone that knows Dave and I knows that we started out as product people. We wanted to help the world with our products. But what we realized, and granted it took us a while, what we realized is that we need the brand partners. I mean, we always knew we needed the brand partners, but we needed to focus on the economic empowerment. We needed to focus on the business to move the mission forward. And so it's like sometimes those things aren't so clear because we were so focused on the product and so focused on the mission and the movement. At times we were de-emphasizing the economic piece of it. We were de-emphasizing, the incentive to drive the brand partner deeper into the mission and the movement. And so once we figured out that it was all connected, almost like everything in our lives are all completely interwoven and connected. Like once you figure that out, and when we figured that out, like at first we said, we're going to be business equivalent. We're going to be economic empowerment equivalent at the same time as product focus. And honestly, I would say in the last few months, we've even shifted from equivalence to business forward, because that truly is the way we're going to grow our mission and our movement. And we're ultimately going to meet our vision, which is helping the world through whole food nutrition, exposing the world to this food philosophy that the quality of like what you put in your body, it really equals the quality of the life that you can live, the quality of the way your immune system can respond. And the way we meet that vision and how we keep growing that vision is by growing our army of people who believe in that. And there has to be an economic incentive. There has to be a value exchange there. And that is exactly what the business does. It creates that value exchange. And so we started doing it with the Million Mom movement, and we pulled that right in to Purium as a whole. And with that shift, I mean, look at the incredible growth that has been happening.
Yeah, congratulations on the growth. Multiple crowns, multiple colored diamonds. It's so exciting. So I want to talk a little bit, Amy. You're a mom on a mission. You were the creator of the Million Mom movement. I want to ask you a question here. What to you, Amy, is the hardest part of being a mom on a mission?
The hardest part of being a mom on a mission is the balance. It's the balance. And sorry, like I didn't mean to get all emotional here, but when you're passionate and you're highly driven and you see that you can go out, you can make a difference and you can change the world and you can change the lives of so many people. But it does take a time commitment, and so it's been about like trying to balance that time commitment where my daughters never feel like they were second, and that they always understand the reason behind like what I'm doing. And I think right now, now they're a little bit older, and of course when they were little, I brought them to the office with me. I did everything I possibly could to have them with me, even though I may not have have been able to give them full-time care. I did everything I could to have them with me and integrated into my business. And that's why I love it so much when kids are on the Zooms, and I love it to see like Jody's kids pop up when they're doing homeschooling, but we're having a Zoom. And like, I love that, because I love when the kids can get integrated and they can understand what you're doing. And then we can teach them that this isn't just a job. Like, this is a passion, and this is a passion for humanity, and this is a passion for health. This is a passion for the environment. This is a passion for financial health. Because I mean, as we all know, so many people have issues around finances, you know? And so if we can start addressing these three huge issues when they're little and they're just integrated and exposed to it, I just think that our children are just going to be so much further ahead than I know I was, you know, at that age. So the balance gets tricky. And it's kind of funny because my kids do give me a little bit of hard time sometimes for the long hours that I work. But then, you know, like you read an essay that they wrote at school about saying, you know, like, my mom's my hero, or, you know, they're like so proud of an accomplishment that we've made here at Purium. And so it's pretty heartwarming, you know, to see that. So
thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your gorgeous heart. We all love that about you so much. And you know, I think it's pretty universal what you're sharing right now in terms of the balance. It just came up in my team yesterday around the balance that we moms are working to hold as we work our passions, living this inspired, dedicated, committed life, and parenting, you know. So well done for being a stand for what it looks like to live an inspired, connected, passionate life. You're a gorgeous leader for us all to follow in your footsteps. So my second question is, this one's a little bit easier. What's the best thing about being a mom on a mission?
Oh, the best thing is being able to be, oh gosh, this one might make me cry too, to be the role model that I didn't really have. It's not that my mom wasn't amazing. I'm not saying that at all, but I wanted to be like independent, but I didn't know how. I wanted to have economic empowerment, but I wasn't really sure how. That wasn't modeled for me the way I grew up. I needed to eat better because most of you know my story about the acne, and I feel positive it came from my diet and exposure to glyphosate, but nobody knew that. My parents didn't know that. And so, and even like the entrepreneurial spirit, having multiple like different streams of income, nobody taught me that. And so I think being that role model, personal development wasn't discussed in my household growing up. And so now that I'm here like so deeply into this mission and this movement, and it's so much more than just health, you know, environment, economic empowerment. There's so much personal growth that's going on all the time, challenging yourself, meeting a goal, not achieving a goal, and having to get back up and do it again. I mean, Dave and I have been doing this for 25 years. And so, I mean, how many times have we failed, or you know, people laughed in our face, but we had to just keep going, so because we believed in it. So modeling that, when you believe in something, you don't give up on it, you don't give up on your dreams. Like, that is my, I guess, favorite part of being able to model that for my kids.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And so with all the growth that's happening with Purium, what are you most excited about in terms of Purium's future?
Oh my goodness. You know, I am most excited about the exposures. I'm most excited about the impact that we are making. And, you know, impact is a big word, and impact can mean something different, totally different to different people. But we are honestly, people write us stories all the time saying, you saved my life. And whether we saved someone's life via their health transformation, whether we saved someone's relationships because the health transformation led to better emotional health or mental well-being, whether we saved someone's life financially, or whether we saved someone's life by bringing them into this loving community that they've maybe never experienced before. So I know that's a big word, saying like we are saving people's lives, but you know, the testimonials that we get in, and just the true impact that we get to make as a community, it's really mind-blowing. It's really so much more than just the health, the environment, and the money. It's just, it's so much more encompassing than that. And every single one of us, every single brand partner, every single member of the Million Mom movement has the ability to do that. And that is what I think is like the coolest thing about the mission that we're here on together.
I love it. I love it. I love our community so much. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be working with you and to be leading this council in all the ways that we are moving forward. We've got so much more coming down the pike for 2020. And thank you for your time today. Yeah, so grateful.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I want to say a huge thank you to the council for holding this down while, you know, things have been so crazy over at Purium. It's wonderful to know you have this, you know, you're supported. And that's what Purium, that's what the Million Mom movement is all about, is like holding that container and supporting people where they are, meeting them where they are, being inclusive, you know, to everyone, no matter where you are on your health journey. We are here for you. So I just want to say a huge thank you for the entire council. And Rachel, thank you so much. I see you right there for everything that you're doing. So thank you so much for having me on today.
Wonderful, Amy. All right. We'll invite you back soon, my dear.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, so we've got so much more for you. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful to you all for joining us and being a part of this movement. Really, we are a movement of many. We are a movement of moms, dads, caregivers, and concerned citizens alike. And I'd like to take a moment and do what I ordinarily do at the top of the call. We only had Amy for a certain amount of time. She's going right into another meeting. Oh, can you do me a favor and go ahead and mute? The minute you join, just go ahead and mute, or Rodney, if you can mute all. That'd be great. So I want to tell a little bit of how Fierce Friday started and what it's morphing into, what it's becoming as you do more with us here with the movement. So back in January, I was feeling like I wanted to do more with this amazing platform that we have with the movement. And as grateful as I have been to Amy and Dave for the product of Biomedic that has helped my own boy, Zephyr, heal his gut from glyphosate poisoning. He ate Cheerios for the first 8 years of his life, which we know are drenched in glyphosate. I wanted to do more because I knew that Cheerios were a beloved brand in the United States and Canada, and I knew that so many families were feeding their children Cheerios without knowing. And so I wanted to bring us all together under the umbrella of the Million Mom movement to really educate and to take action. So I'm a longtime activist, environmental, social justice, birth, health freedom, and now anti-cancer activist. And so I wanted to start this as a way for us all to take action and to speak truth to power. And so over the past 6 months, we have been engaged in a letter writing campaign. We're continuing that. And if you have written your letter to General Mills, thank you very much. If you have yet to write your letter to General Mills, I want to invite you to put your email into the chat box, and our operations manager, Rachel Quayle, will email you a templated letter that I wrote that shares my story about Zephyr's, poisoning. Really, there's no other way of saying it. And he's 13 now and he's well, thank goodness. Go ahead and put your email in the chat. Rachel will send you that template letter. You'll make that template letter your own, and go ahead and hit up their Instagram account, their Facebook, and just let them know that we are here, we witness what they're doing, and we want them to take action to remove glyphosate from Cheerios. That's the plan, going glyphosate free. So I would also now like to take a moment and introduce you and interview some of my beloved council members. These women are my friends. They're my colleagues. They are on the ground where they live in Kauai and Colorado, doing the very difficult work that is needing to be done right now in the United States of America. So I'm just going to say that in general about them. I adore these women, and I want to call forth Naima Flory. Are you with us, Naima?
I'm here. Hi. Thank you so much.
Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being with us today, Naima. I want to say a few words about you, and then we're going to get into it, okay? So Naima is a mother of 6 amazing children, 4 stepchildren, and 2 of her own. She is a mom on a mission, go figure. She's here to help educate about the importance of choosing organic and non-GMO foods. So she's driving in her lane as being a council member here in the Million Mom Movement. She was raised and lives, raised in the Hawaiian Islands, lives on Kauai. I've been able to visit her there as part of my work with Purium, and she enjoys hiking, creating community events, and playing with her children on the beach. And if you follow her personal social media, you'll see her on the beach often. Naima is she is our social media outreach director, really. I mean, she does it all, and I work very closely with her. She works on her own. Rachel, we all are in communication with Naima a lot about what's next, what we're promoting. And so if you're following us on Instagram, and I hope you are, Million Mom Movement, is it Million Mom Movement Official, Naima, or what is the
That's our group on Facebook. So on Facebook, you can join the group called Million Mom Movement Official, and then our actual pages on Facebook and Instagram is just Million Mom Movement.
Perfect.
Follow us there.
Yeah, perfect. So she's the one uploading stories. She's the one, if you make a post on Instagram, well, you go ahead and share. Naima, you share about what you want our community to do. I'd love to hear more about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate all of you who share your passion around the Million Mom Movement and what our company represents to you through your social media. And by tagging the Million Mom Movement, you actually allow us to be able to repost you on our social media and promote you a little bit through our movement that way. So I really appreciate all of you who take the thought to put those awesome posts out there and tag us so that I can find those posts. And same goes with stories. When you share your stories on social media and tag us, I can reshare them in our stories. So I really appreciate that because you make my job so much easier. I get to share all of what you guys are sharing out there in the field with the rest of our community through the Million Mom Movement platform. And I just love doing that. And I love getting to read all of your stories and what's actually true for you, whether it's your personal transformation or the mission that we're on, and you sharing about your passion, the things that you're creating in your life. These are all things that are so inspiring to the rest of the community and the people that are looking to join us as well.
Wonderful. I so appreciate all that you do, Naima. And I was following Naima. Naima was one of the first moms that I sort of like saw on Facebook, and I started following her story. I was so inspired by your transformation and by how much you promoted the Million Mom Movement. And then I think we finally met at convention one year, and the rest is history. So I'd love to hear from you, Naima. You have this very small boy, as well as older children, and you've really, you have this beautiful hashtag. Go ahead and share it.
So my hashtag is I built my business with my baby on my hip. And if you click on that hashtag on any one of my posts, you'll actually follow my story over the past 5.5 years since Kaino was 4 months old. So I was introduced, I was a busy mom. I had 5 kids in 4 different schools. And for those of you who are moms, you can only imagine what my morning routine was like. It was, you know, get the kids to eat their breakfast, tie their shoes, get out the door, and hopefully I could get all of them to school on time. 4 different schools, you guys. And they all started within 15 minutes of each other. And they're more than 15 minutes apart. So just go figure. The mornings were stressful. I often wouldn't do anything for myself until I would get home. And then I would usually have to take care of my 4-month-old baby who needed a nap. And so often I would just either live off of coffee or maybe a bagel and cream cheese, whatever was the easiest, simplest thing that I could grab and go. And so that was my life before Purium. And then a dear friend of mine, Willow Roots, introduced me to these amazing superfoods that totally changed my life. It simplified everything for me. And it actually gave me something that I could do for myself. You know how they say on the airplane, put your oxygen on mask first and then take care of those around you? So it's that concept where I can now wake up in the morning, take my aminos, shake up a shake on my way out the door, and still do something for myself while I'm taking care of everybody around me. And that's so important for myself and for all other moms and people, entrepreneurs, busy business people out there. So important that we take care of ourselves first so that we can take care of those around us.
Agreed. So I forgot to mention you're a Blue Diamond with Purium. So congratulations on that achievement. And I'm curious to know, similar to the questions that I was asking Amy. So what's the hardest part about being a mom on a mission, Naima?
I think the hardest part is, you know, we're very passionate because we have these little people that are depending on us to create the future that we want them to live in. And so I think it's really challenging to have to step out there into the world and be brave and share our voices. And I think also the other part, like Amy mentioned, the balancing of it all and making them feel included really does help. You know, when I give them little tasks or feel that, you know, invite them onto my Zooms or onto my certain Facebook Lives, then they really love that. And even doing little mini interviews with them, just include the kids. That's what makes it way more fun. And then they're more accepting of what you're doing. But definitely finding balance in it all can be challenging at times.
Mm-hmm. Right. So similar to what Amy was sharing about balancing,
Yeah.
I think that's so universal, right?
Yeah.
And so, and what is the best part for you about being a mom on a mission? Because I know you're on the ground dealing with some pretty serious issues with Monsanto on Kauai. And I don't mean to, you know, conflate those two issues, but I would love for you to talk about that as well. But my first question is, what is the best part about being a mom on a mission?
So the best part is being able to go out there and make a difference. Go out there and meet other moms that have similar, you know, that are also on a mission so we can support each other. I think it's really important, you know, go find people in your community that inspire you, that are on a similar mission, that have similar viewpoints, and, you know, help them. We all need help. We all need, you know, somebody to tell us that we're doing the right thing or to come and just help us to be loud and proud of what we're sharing out there, because it's not easy. We get a whole lot of backlash when we get loud and proud about what we're standing up for. And so it is so important. It means so much to me. I got a message last night from a friend that was thanking me for something I had shared. And it meant so much to me because other people were telling me that I must be crazy to share that information. So telling somebody that you support them really goes a long way. And, you know, stand up, lock arms together, and let's make a difference.
Yeah, I love your fearlessness, Naima. It's one of the things I loved about you when I first started following you on Facebook. I really resonated with all the things that you shared. So, you know, you've had some success, you know, ranking Blue Diamond. And what are you most proud of in terms of how you've created your Purium organization?
I think what I'm most proud of is the people that I've been able to help and the lives I've been able to impact. I've definitely been a mom on a mission myself, having started as a postpartum mom and having replaced my part-time income in my first 2 months and then replaced my husband's income in my first 8 months. It has allowed us to do things that we weren't able to do before. And being able to offer that to other people and help support them and getting there as well is something that I'm really passionate about. And I know that so many of us work so hard to just make ends meet. And I think that this is definitely something that so many of us need to either support us as a second stream of income, or like myself, it could become your first stream of income as well.
Yeah. Sky's the limit with network marketing, this business model. And I'm excited to be doing a lot more business forward, to incorporate the business forward aspect of the Million Mom Movement into Fierce Fridays. So thank you so much for all that you do for us, Naima, for this mission, and for your own family and on Kauai. We're super grateful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Wonderful. So let's pivot now to Ms. Jody Parker, who, if you were here with us for the last, well, not last week, we took a break last week to celebrate the 4th. But I'd like to bring on Jody. Are you with us, Jody?
I'm here. Hello, my friend.
Hey, welcome back, Miss, and thanks for taking over when I was on vacation right before the 4th. So, so Jody Parker, fierce mom of 3, friend, colleague, and fellow badass. I love that word. It might be, but I just really love that word. And I just, I feel like we're living in unprecedented times, and I really admire your strength, and I really admire your willingness to speak out and speak the truth, your truth, and how you manage your social media. I really admire that, Jody. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're on this council with me. I'm grateful for this council every day. It is so magnificent to be in community with women that that love and respect and support one another, and that we're all on a similar mission. So thank you for all that you've done in the council, within the council, and all that we're going to be doing over the next few months and years, for as long as we're here in this sacred circle. So you are a homeschooling mom. You, after your oldest child nearly went into liver failure as an infant, I can't even imagine that, actually, what you went through with that. Jody became an advocate for mothers everywhere to find holistic solutions that treat causes rather than symptoms. Really important. I'd like to underscore that, highlight, and bold. With degrees in psychology and an emphasis in child development and neurology, she's also a natural health consultant, and she's a green diamond with Purium. Woohoo! Yay. So how are you today, Jody?
I'm so happy to be here and to see all these amazing people on the call. And as you were saying, to be surrounded by people who are on a mission, because as you said earlier, I really think that as women especially, I think everybody needs to stand up and stand in their power right now. But I think historically, there has been an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy. And I believe us as women are stepping into that power and creating a much needed balance in the world right now. And so to see all these women be on this call and step up and be willing to own that power, not in a aggressive way, but in a this is who I am way. And to see this happening and to see this growing is very inspiring to me. So I'm feeling pretty grateful right now.
Yeah, right on. Beautiful. So you as well have had some success with Purium as a green diamond. Congratulations on that recent rank advancement just a few months ago. And I know you're going a lot further than that. You have an amazing team, of also many moms on a mission. And I was curious, I'm going to flip the questions a little bit. What are you most proud of in terms of what you've been able to manifest with your Purium organization, Jody?
What am I most proud of? I think the thing I am most proud of is when I see somebody have that breakthrough, that moment of, I can't do this, I don't want to sell, this is hard, and all of a sudden something clicks and they realize I can do this and I am powerful and it's okay to speak my truth with kindness and with love. And when they realize that by not speaking their truth, not only are they not helping themselves, but they're not helping the people around them. And you see this shift in them. And it's that moment of knowing that you've held the space for somebody to change the world, and knowing that those little steps like that consecutively are going to be the change that for when my children are actually the ones running the show, that change is, we've already laid the groundwork for that change to happen. And so I think that's what I'm most proud of, is watching that transition.
Beautiful. I love that. And I agree with you. Beautiful. Yeah. You know, holding people as capable, holding them as accountable, and supporting them with love, you know, it's part of the best part of working Purium, I feel. What's the hardest part about being a mom on a mission, Jody Parker?
I think I'm going to have to say the same thing everybody else says. It's the balance, right? Like if you look behind me, you can see the desks. This is the schoolroom. This is where we do homeschooling. And so my desk is right in the middle of everything. So I've got, you know, the second grader doing math behind me, and the sophomore doing his thing. And then I've got a seventh grader, and trying to balance that while doing the work. And I've noticed, I wasn't working when my boys were little, but I have been working. I joined Purium when my daughter was 2, and she's now 7. And she's seen a very different mom than my boys have. And there are times when I have that mom guilt, you know, for definitely. She wanted me to take her to the park yesterday, and I couldn't because I had to work. And that was really hard. I don't enjoy those times. So I made a promise that after today's call, we're going to the park. Regardless of what's happening in the world, we're going to the park, and making sure she understands that she's important. But I think what Amy said about, you know, I bring them in. Like if you look on my timeline right now, the second post down is a picture of my 16-year-old drinking Purium at the ocean. And he lets me do that. And he's been helping me make memes, and he's been helping me do some stuff that I need to do for my team right now. And so he's learning about entrepreneurship by watching me. And my daughter is learning about stepping into her power as a female in this world. And she doesn't really have a problem with that. But I'm glad that she has that model. But it also hurts my mama heart when she looks at me and goes, but Mom, that's really hard. And so I do make a point of consciously balancing that, so that I don't look back someday and go, I wish I would have. I think that's the worst thing any of us can do. So I'm always conscious of that in the now moment. Am I going to look back on this and say, I wish I would have? And if the answer is yes, then you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Great. So, okay, Jody, what is the best part of being a mom on a mission?
The best part is when your 6-year-old child looks at you, and this was 10 years ago because he's 16 now, and goes, Mom, why are they eating that? Don't they know that's bad for them? Don't they know it's going to make them sick? Like that moment when you see in your children that awareness and that knowledge of how to live healthy in the world, and how to see it, and to be able to teach them the tools of, this is what some people think, and this is what we think, and here's the journey that got us here. And that critical thinking that is so important. And so being a mom on a mission, you know, I have to be willing to be wrong. And so I get to teach my children that, but I get to teach them not what to think, but how to think. And that is so important. And there have been times when all 3 of them have said, no, you're wrong, and explained to me why I'm wrong. And that's amazing, because I want them to be critical thinkers. And when you're a mom on a mission, you're looking at all these issues in the world and critically thinking about them. And they are getting that from a very small age. I didn't learn how to do this until I was in my 30s. But they're learning how to be that way in life, which I think is going to avoid so many problems for them as they grow older, because they know who they are and they know how to think and change their mind in the face of new information.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for showing up almost every Friday and just, you know, continuing to be the light in the world that you are. I'm deeply grateful to be on this path with you, Jody.
I love you. I love all you guys. We really are lucky, and I'm so glad to see so many people on this call, because guys, this is our tribe. This is it.
Right.
And bring more people to the tribe,
Yeah,
because we
exactly.
need each other.
Exactly. Right on, girl. Okay, great. Well, moving on, we have a hard out at 11:55, so I'm just going to carry on down the road here, and I'd like to talk about something that I'm particularly proud of, that we in the Million Mom Movement get to support every single month. I think it was last fall, Amy, she reached out to me and she's like, Steph, I found a line item in the budget, and we've got $10,000 a month that we're allotting for our scholarships. And I was like, what? I was so excited. Every month, Purium allows the Million Mom Movement to offer 4 scholarships a month. And we have a wonderful new promotion that I want to bring Carmela Velarde also on our Million Mom Movement Council. Her interview is coming up hopefully next week. I would love to bring you on, Carmela, to share a little bit more about the scholarship program and this new promotion that we have for Black families.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. The council is amazing. I loved so much hearing about Amy's interview specifically. I haven't had her on, and her vision for our scholarship is so beautiful. What a privilege we have to offer people every month. And for those who don't know, yes, this past month, we just added to our monthly scholarships an additional 4 scholarships amid the Black Lives Matter movement that's been sweeping. We are all one, and for the Purium Business Executive Board to become more inclusive and to foster diversity, they decided to add 4 new scholarships for those families with diversity, specifically Black families. So I'm really excited to announce that. And for those of you who didn't know, we had a Million Mom Movement Scholarship. Now we also have this to offer. That's 8 for this month. What an incredible opportunity. And so I invite everyone, as there are many triggers these days about what's going on in the world, we can invite ourselves to trigger the positive catalytic empowerment to invite people to this kind of scholarship. We have choices. We are here to empower, just like Jody said, Naima, Stephanie, I believe all of us are here to empower. And so with a scholarship, we can reach in and assist those who are in need financially, because it requires those that have economic need, and they have to be also open to mentorship. They'll get 6 months of $2,500 worth of superfoods spread out. So that is quite a life-changing opportunity, not just financially, because of obviously the business opportunity will be added with that. It's a scholarship. But wow, the superfoods, how that can transform your lives as well. So make that list. I know some of you know people. You have to have a diamond sponsorship or someone who co-sponsored by a diamond to apply. If you go onto our millionmommovement.info website, the scholarship tab is there. And then they can apply there. So I'm very excited to have this as an offering. I feel so privileged to be a part of a company that fosters diversity. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Carmela. It's wonderful to hear your voice. I feel the exact same way. I love our company so much, and I feel so blessed to be able to be a brand ambassador, brand partner for Purium. So I would like to call Naima Flory back on. So every Friday we're going to have a hot topic. And today I was happy to learn this, and I of course shared it with the council immediately. So Naima, will you come back on and share about this wonderful piece of news for Canada and the world?
Yeah, so this is super exciting, you guys. Canada's largest agribusiness, it's called Richardson International, is no longer going to be accept oat crops that are sprayed before harvest. So what's that's called is a desiccant. They use glyphosate as a desiccant, where they spray it on even organic oats, even organic wheat, even organic foods that have an organic label. they use this desiccant as the last thing they do before they harvest. And it's a way to basically push that product into the seeding. And so it makes it ready right away. And so it basically helps the bigger companies to harvest, have their harvest ready crops, and to not gum up their machines with green matter. And so this has just been banned, and so we just received this today. And I know Stephanie did post the article into our Million Mom Movement official on Facebook, so please join that group and read the full article. And this is really exciting to see that they are, by 2021, they are going to be discontinuing this practice on their oats.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you, Naima. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the work that you're doing to share this issue. This is one of the most important issues in our world today. I just really want to underscore that. Glyphosate use on the crops throughout the United States, Canada, and the EU is so serious, and we're just starting to see how it's impacting health globally and making all the connections. People think that they're gluten intolerant and they're actually glyphosate intolerant. So be that person, be that light in the room, as I like to tell my team, that goes out into the world, that talks about what's going on with glyphosate use. Let me just highlight as well that when you put your email into the chat box and you're going to be mailed this templated letter, you're going to get a PDF that has this 2016. Unfortunately, we don't have anything more updated, so it is 4 years old, but I believe that this is still, I don't know that much has changed, to be honest with you, since 2016, but it's called Glyphosate Unsafe on Any Plate, and I use this as a teaching tool. Educate yourself, share it with your friends and family, your teachers, the people in your community that you care about, that you want to know about what's going on. And please do invite 2 of your friends to come back next Friday. It's going to be changing up every Friday, but we will always be talking about toxins on our food. You can guarantee that we'll always be talking about how to increase your own activism in the world, how to educate, inspire, and how you can create economic empowerment. And so we've got a few more minutes left, and I'd just love to open the call to anyone here that's on the line today that has a question or a comment. We'd love to hear your voice. We've got about 8 minutes, so we'd love to open up the lines. Don't be shy now.
I did want to shout out Raquel, who's on here for the first time. She just submitted her application for the scholarship. So thank you for attending today.
Welcome, Raquel. So glad you're here.
Hi.
Hi, Tess.
How are you?
Great, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm brand new to Purium, and I'm so excited to be here, but I wanted to ask how I get involved with the Million Mom Movement, but I guess I'm doing it right now by joining the call.
So there's a couple of other ways. Go to millionmommovement.info and just surf around that website.
Okay.
There's a pledge that you can take to join the movement and to learn really what it is that we stand for. We have a blog. A lot happens on the blog. When we have an opinion, something we want to share, we will share it on the blog. So stay tuned to the blog. We also have recipes. We want to receive your recipes. And, is Rachel Quayle still here? Does anyone know on the council, if someone wants to submit a recipe, how do they do that? Can they do that on the website?
Yes, we have a link for people to submit recipes on the website. And the exciting thing is you also get a free apothecary sent to you when you submit a recipe, and we use it on our blog.
Big product.
That's nice. Yeah, I had a second question, if that's okay. My son, actually, I have a son who's 27, and he has some health issues going on, and I wanted to allow him to, or help him apply for the scholarship. I do need someone to sponsor me, and I was wondering if I could maybe share my email with someone that would be willing to do that.
So I'm not sure. It seems like a two-pronged question. So can you just pare it down a little bit?
Oh, so my son wants to apply for the Million Mom Movement Scholarship.
Okay, is he a parent? Is he a parent?
No, does he need to be a parent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it'd be me.
A parent or a caregiver or someone who has a family that they're caring for.
So it'd be me, and he lives with me. But he's 27, so I don't know if that's too old.
It's a little old. It is. Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
We'd love for him to be a brand partner. We'd love for him to be a customer. If you purchase the Ultimate Lifestyle Nutrition Pack for $314 with the discount, you will get the business for free. Mm-hmm. So that's an incredible deal. Ordinarily, the business is $200. So there's a way that you two could brainstorm how to make that happen together, because we'd love to have him with us. But yeah, no, the scholarships are for people that are caring for children.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for telling me, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for speaking up. We love hearing your voice. All right, who else would like to share their voice? We'd love to hear from you.
I have a couple of questions. That's okay.
Michelle, hi.
Hi. So I actually just received a bottle of Apothecary because my recipe that I submitted was published. So that was super cool and really fun to be able to share that with my friends and generate interest in that way as well. So I just wanted to share that. Mm-hmm. And then when we're doing Million Mom Movement scholarships, I understand that, so I'm a brand partner. I have lots of mom friends. When they do the scholarship, they have to be sponsored by somebody in my upline that's a diamond, if I remember correctly. And then if they're awarded the scholarship, do they come in under Million Mom Movement or do they come in under me?
Under you.
Okay, that's my first question. And then my second question is, do we have anything that's Million Mom oriented, business opportunity, nutrition oriented, that is directed or led by a member of an African American community or directed towards African American community, or just slightly a little different?
Mm-hmm. So great question. And the way that that's going to happen is by sharing what we have here with more in the African American community and supporting them to rise, supporting those new brand partners to rise, to become leaders. That's how we're going to raise the diversity in our own community. So we do have a monthly training, a Million Mom Movement sponsored business training that you, it's really a training for scholarship recipients and newer brand partners. It's kind of like it's a Million Mom Movement focused training, but that's not exactly what you're asking for. It sounds like what you're asking for is a prospecting tool.
I'm directly asking for a specific tool link to send before we get to the Connect call or whatever, even get them interested in a scholarship. So specifically directed at the African American community or led by an African American prospecting tool.
Yeah, that's great.
So I have a suggestion.
Please.
Only because just this past week I had a couple prospects that I'd sent information. So our email newsletter had sent out just a short article. So I screenshot it and then I sent that along with the Million Mom Movement info /scholarship tags that lead them directly into it so they can see all that's available when they're offered the scholarship. Mm-hmm. But what has been advised for me are those specific applicants who are of diverse backgrounds, specifically Black families. They should in the notes write their specific story, including that they're not necessarily the Million Mom, but the Black Lives Matter movement family. So
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Carmela. We're going to get turned off any minute here at 11:55. So I'm just going to close this out. Thank you so much for your time. Please post in the Million Mom Movement official group, tag myself, tag any of the other council. If you have any questions, if we can help you between now and next Friday, and please come back next Friday. We're so glad you're here. We want your voices. You matter. You're important to this movement. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Good
Mhm.
call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you, everyone.